And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. It has been a very interesting 24 hours here in the city. We've had attacks on the Sept. We have had retaliatory attacks against the kin of the Black Spiral Dancers. We've had a lot of things going on. People have amassed weapons or wealth or grievous scars to their facial region, or at least half of it. But after the fallout of the raid last evening, Cammy did notice that a certain someone was a bit out of sorts. And not the person who she expected to be. In fact, the person she did expect to be is living it up and more upset the fact that the gates of Valhalla were open to him and he didn't get to walk through. So as Cammy stands on the umber reflection of the training grounds using a rifle to blast away at target dummies, she waits to see if her alpha as well as the Theurge cub by the name of Fatima comes to visit her on this side of the Umbra. And this is where we start our scene.
Game start.
Okay, Fatima doesn't seem to be herself lately. Um, she hasn't been herself in quite a few days, and I suppose it's starting to show a bit. And, she, uh, she is, one of the things that, she likes to do and happily took the advice of someone was to find something to distract herself. And she has picked up a book. She is, I guess, reading and perched up against the post.
While she is perched up against the post, there's the sound of gunfire echoing off not too far away.
She will actually, let's see how she takes this. Um, Heads or tails?
Heads?
I she throws down the book in frustration, looks up, and says quite loudly, "That's really fucking rude. Find someplace else to shoot that thing." She doesn't understand. Yeah, she says that.
Cammy will look left and look right and then point to herself with an "oh really" sort of thing. She looks directly at Fatima, and with her left hand, she just kind of gestures out towards the target dummy at the other end of the training grounds.
And she says, "Can't deal with this. Oh, I guess I'll move Raya.
Just shut up. Get over here. Christ on a cracker.
You can definitely see that her eyes are. What's a good way to describe this? She looks a little greasy, as in, it's that look, almost a sullen look, like she, as a person that hasn't been sleeping, or has been sleeping but's having a damn hard time of it.
She, Cammy looks at this, and just as Fatima walks up, she holds out her right arm with a rifle in it. Give a few shots off on this, downrange.
And I guess she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I
Well,
don't
take this part, and she'll pat the stock, put it up against your shoulder, grab a hold of this. She'll show the handle. Put your other hand here, and she'll show the forward mount or the forward grip. And look down this, and she'll sort of go down the iron sights.
and she will, I guess, pull the trigger.
Go ahead and roll your dex firearms.
Oh. Da, 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 da. Which dice roll are we on?
Werewolf, I haven't set the scene yet. Give me a second.
Okay. Oh, oh, well, look at that.
Damn. Shit's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Cammy's brows raise a little bit. Not bad.
Desmond, those were gunshots. Okay.
What, Bob?
Yeah, like, meanwhile.
Was you talking to Desmond?
Yeah, meanwhile, Desmond, those were gunshots.
You'll see Desmond just like hops up and then just shifting the chronos slowly. Well, round 2, here we go. And just basically start running on all fours.
Desmond, what? And he's already off, so Colin's off with him in Hispo.
Yeah.
And before they get there, Cammy takes out the rifle, and she aims down the sights. I got a few new toys from that last raid we did. And she takes her time, all 6 seconds of it, and I'm pretty sure as soon as she rolls this, that's when the ham squad is going to be charging through the forest. But yeah, she hits dead center in the target as the loud sound of the for lack of a better term, the sniper rifle just goes.
You see her, like, I suppose not wince, but it is more of a It's a it's a shutter.
Yeah, the two of them get there, and getting there, it's pretty obvious what is going on. Though it does take some work to basically bleed off that momentum. That's a lot of meat in motion.
Yeah, like rhinos, basically like, what, still his messed up face, even seeing it, Rhino's just looking around like, what?
He looks over at the two. She's holding the heavy rifle. Fatima has the M4, and there's targets, a good ways away from them. Gentlemen,
Colin goes down to Lupus and looks like this wolf right now as he sits.
Will shift to basically hold and slowly shift him, just be like, oh, I heard, so I guess it came from that. I think you are on that, or go to a shooting range.
well,
Ken folks was getting shot at.
which is why I was told not to do this in the Telerian.
Cammy, some of our kin have noses.
Would you prefer I disturb the pattern spiders in their daily routine?
Judgmental wolf face.
I don't know how much you know about the Weaver, but they do take offense to that.
Okay. So this is happening today.
She will hand the rifle or sniper rifle back to Cammy, and she will, yeah. The look of irritation on Fatima's face is a little bit more evident now.
Hey, we're shaking.
And she won't actually turn to your gaze. She'll show throat, but it's just like that switch, like the hair flip, like, okay.
Colin just kind of lumbers over to where the training dummies are. These look solid. Do you know what's not solid?
Colin, I swear to Gaia, if you say what I think you're about to say, I'm not going to come over there and do anything, but I'm going to think about it real hard.
Colin just kind of steps in the space between the dummies. Look at all of the nothing that a bullet hits when it enters this space, and just keeps going, and going, and going.
Well, that's why Colin and I aim for the middle. She points at the target dummy, which has majority of the holes close to center.
And when you don't, you have no idea where that bullet will bury itself. You did not think this through.
She's just going to look at him. And as she's looking at him, she's just going to grab the bolt on the rifle, and she's just going to pull it back so the empty shell casing pops out, and she reaches out and catches it. Puts it back into her swag, because we don't leave brass casings on the ground in the Scepter of the Green.
This man is just be looking at Fatima.
She paid her respect.
You look agitated.
I am, and I changed the subject. Anywho, how's everybody's day going?
I mean, it's going fine. I got the fight. I'm good.
We were looking for more of the Umbra chicken.
The
This
what?
interrupted that.
The what?
The Umber chicken.
It's like a snipe hunt.
No, there are buckets of fried chicken. They just kind of appear. It's good.
Look, I don't think that's. I don't know. The Umbra's a crazy place, so here. I mean, I wouldn't mind eating right about now. Shoot. Why are we even here?
It's not even made of
Dang it, I
noses.
can't go nowhere.
It's actual chicken. I didn't believe it when they told me about it, but I've found it before.
Sure, once again.
Have you ever visited the Evermeal? And she'll look at Desmond. She'll walk over to him, and she'll reach down into her bag and she'll pull out a. You know those like comic book or Star Wars themed hoodies that you can zip all the way up to the front of the hood? And like, you know, it'd be like the mask of like the one she got for him was Deadpool.
He puts it on. Do you want to get something? Do you want something to eat, Colin? I'm hungry. I'm pretty hungry.
I didn't think the Evermeal would have a reflection.
It's spiritually awake. It has to have a reflection.
Colin seems to be in deep thought over this.
I mean, if you have an empty bucket of chicken,
I don't.
put
Not
it
here.
Do you have one back at the camper?
I mean, the Tellurian, yes.
Well,
I'm familiar with how it works, Cammy. I just didn't think it was responsible for the spiritual meals.
I don't know if it actually is responsible for the spiritual meals, but that's one way you could get your Umbra chicken if you really wanted the Umbra chicken. You just have to work for it.
I tend to collect old wrappers, pizza boxes, things in the park, and every 3 nights, yes, 3 nights, I'll go to the Evermeal, make sure to fill them all and pass them out. This winter's been harsh.
Noble of you, sir.
You hungry, Fatima?
No, I would like you both to leave though. And she kind of folds her arms in indignation. Like,
What did she say?
she says no, but I'd like you all to leave though.
He looks at her like, you ain't going nowhere. You going to mine, have all the food for yourself.
Winces again, she was like, stop. Just stop.
Look what I can do.
Colin
Touches his eyeball a little bit with his.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Shreds. Raya.
And she actually hits. You know what? Fuck it.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
I'll fuck it. I'll take the wisdom hit. And
But you're here.
not today.
But you need 3 of those, which means 30.
You alright? You can.
I am going to try and stop you from doing it. So how about you roll your
Alright.
X brawl?
No, I mean
Get more than 2 because it looks like she's shaking and she looks like she's about to pop him.
Okay. I will try.
like, ooh.
Nope. She kind of gets in the way of it. Only allows 1 success to get through. As she's kind of like, no.
And and she kind of has tears in her eyes. She was like, "I don't get what the fuck you're doing. I don't fucking find it funny. Leave me the fuck alone."
Kimmy.
What's up with the tears now? I didn't.
Fucking go, you piece of shit! Like she poised.
Cammy's hand is just gonna come up to,
like this.
her mouth and just like push up against it. It's like she turns around with her or looks over her shoulder. Colin, Shreds, my good friends, would you give me like 10? She looks back at Fatima. 30 minutes?
And he looks at Colin just like, is this something that I said or something? Did I do something?
Ryan, it's
He's looking at Colin's like, something that I did.
Colin,
She is fuming. Like,
Colin
she
is
shaking.
like chewing on the inside of one of his paws. Like, there might be something in there.
Child of Unicorn!
What?
Can you help the Child of Fenrir get a grand meal worthy of a mead hall prepared? Please!
She is doing full on anime tilt shaking.
He looks like he's considering fucking something as he regards the situation.
2 boxes of Twinkies.
I promise nothing. And gets up, just kind of starts like Colin is a big dude and thus a big wolf. So it's not that, he's walking or stepping the way the animals do. He's a lot clumsier than that. He's just kind of lumbering along. And it doesn't look like he even expects Desmond to follow him. He's just lumbering off.
And Desmond just be like, And while they both lumber to look at this, be like, Colin.
Many people come for my counsel.
No, I just don't really appreciate what you did.
I didn't catch the end of the appreciate. Appreciate what? Like, for real, you've been breaking up so hard.
He said, I don't appreciate what you did give you.
Try it one more time. I am so sorry.
Oh, my bad. My mic's just been acting up. He just said you did. But I forgive you.
You might want to try to unplug and plug in your microphone because I'm hearing every other word.
Yeah.
It's
I've been lucky piecing it together so far, but my luck has run out.
Hey, hold up.
Some days are better than others. I think the gist of what he said was, I really don't appreciate what you just did, but I forgive you, though.
It was something like that.
And I guess in the meantime, by the way, Diamond, you may have to readjust the Hangout to recognize it once you plug it back in through the settings. But Cammy, once they're out of earshot, finally
I'll take that point of rage.
just looks at her fellow Theurge. Okay. I'm gonna take my hand away, and I'm really hopeful, not expecting, but I am hopeful that a torrent of obscenities does not exit your mouth. And she very slowly pulls her hand away.
And she will look at Cammy, her eyes will go wide, and she will just crumble on the floor. Drop. Like
Cammy takes a breath. She immediately pulls out the Purell out of the spider satchel and begins to wipe her hands in it because he doesn't like touching other people.
God.
Yeah. And she crouches down in front of Fatima and just looks at her. The learning curve's rough. Everybody has peaks and valleys.
Fuck a learning curve. I witnessed 96 people die. And she just looks at her. I'm dreaming about that. I am dreaming about the screams and the horror of people jumping off that roof. And do you think anyone stopped to actually see what the fuck was wrong? I get chastised and I lose an ear. But I'm not even angry about that. I'm angry is that I did it without thinking. I'm a fucking monster. She looked. I cut them down. Like all of them. They were there. I was given an order and it just snapped into place. I literally ripped these shambling creatures. I ripped them to shreds. It wasn't even a thought. It happened. And today I don't even know. What is this even? What the actual fuck am I doing? What is any of this?
Short answer? War. Pretty plain and simple. There's not even much of a long answer other than really what you're going through, which is understandably just kind of a part of the whole process.
And I don't even have the audacity to fuck up my own life. Because that would be the cherry on top of the ice cream. If I could just fuck up my own life, I'd be happy. I'm a fuck up. I understand that. But I fucked up his life. He can't fucking leave because he looks like, I don't know, fucking Skeletor on the side of his face, and he's like making jokes about this like it's fucking like it's okay, like it's okay in the hood, like shit like this happens all the time. Her the fucking dare.
He's a get. The Fenrir.
Oh shit! What the fuck? He got shot in the face with hellfire.
Yeah, he did.
Balefire, whatever the fuck she said.
Yeah. Also true, but he's alive. He could have died. The fact that he regenerated anything is a miracle in of itself.
That's bullshit because according to you, Raya, that I'm supposed to be the medic. Like, why can't I fix that? I tried hard, but clearly I can't fix that shit.
Do you think that a medic in a combat zone who watches a bullet go through...
Why are you so fucking calm? Fucking get angry. Why is no one angry? Everybody's just like, heard of there, I lost an arm today. Oh, everything's okay, blah, blah, I lost an arm today. Like, she what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Well, because I've been exactly where you are, and she does that point and poke, but not like, the kind of antagonistic poke. It's more of that, like, point, poke, just kind of try and keep her attention.
It's fucking asinine. And then today, I think that, it'll be fun times with the spirits. I'll do something good for everyone. And fucking Cthulhu jumps out of the ground. Like, what the fuck? What is this even? It went from fairy tale to fucking Shakespearean horror in 2 seconds flat.
I think Lovecraftian is what you're going for there,
Whatever
but I
the
understand.
fuck, I'm not a geek. You get the point. But like,
That's kind of a harsh assessment.
listen, what is the, and she's like, as the anger is like fuming through her, you can see the tears like coming down her face. It's like, and what? She, why am I? What is this? What am I actually fucking doing? Am I just gonna have to watch people die now? It's like it's all so good in the hood. Like somebody died, they hurt the dirt. Well, it's all part of the war, and this is what we're supposed to do.
Cammy sits down rather than crouch. She'll look over at Fatima. Take a deep breath. You are going through pretty much what every Hamid board cub goes through. I went through it. Colin, to some degree, went through it.
The fuck he did?
Desmond,
He's fucking a. He's an emotional mute. I can say that with full assurity.
nobody who has rage in them is an emotional mute, believe me.
That could have fucking fueled me.
Well, he's practiced. You don't think that I don't freak out? I got my parents killed, Fatima.
Please don't tell me more horror stories. I really can't fucking
No,
take it.
just listen, okay? We are going to have to deal with some of the most horrible, horrific things that creation can throw at us. Our enemy is a god of corruption that seeks to end this plane of existence, destroy it, wipe it clean, wipe us all out in the process, all the while trying to get us to join its side. And every day it claims another victory. And every day we suffer another loss. It's hard to push a boulder up a hill. We are essentially Sisyphus in this. And what you're going through is really natural.
It really. How the fuck can you say this is natural? And the person that's supposed to give a shit about me up and abandons me at the end of the fight. The fuck is that? And I'm supposed to have trust in a pack. The fuck I will. I'm supposed to trust you to have my back. Not you specifically. But I, we're supposed to be on this field, shoulder to shoulder. And
So let me ask you something. Desmond was the one that told me to start talking to you. You know that. I've told you that. He doesn't blame you for what happened.
what
And
the
he's not
fuck?
trying
He's
to
an
hold
idiot. Excuse me, in all respect, he's a fucking idiot. Why doesn't he fucking blame me?
because it wasn't you that pulled the trigger, and
The
it
fuck? I'm
wasn't you.
supposed to be there. I am 110% responsible. According to what they've been telling me, I am 100% responsible. We are the healers. The people are supposed to be talking to the spirits. We're the intermediaries. That is the lesson that we were taught. This is
And
supposed to
how
make
long have you
sense.
been at this, Fatima?
What the fuck? It's supposed to make sense.
A lot of it doesn't, and a lot of it won't. Do you think Mama L has all the answers?
Who the fuck does?
Nobody. We all take little pieces of it. Do you think that 10 Point understands the intricacies of speaking
I
to...
cannot even begin though to even to tackle the level of self hate that that thing has. But
I...
like, not a
Sorry.
thing. Whatever. I'm not trying to be politically correct. This is all fucked up.
Yes, it is. And for the amount of time that you spent away from the nation to be plunged back into it is a shitty thing. It's not fair. None of this is ever going to be fair. And for those of us that have been doing it long enough, the people that you see around you that think aren't reacting to it, they've learned ways to cope.
How? I can't fucking cope.
It
I'm losing
doesn't
fucking
come. It
sleep.
doesn't come in months. It won't come in a month. It won't come in 2. It won't even come in a year. I spent the first 4 years of my life in the nation, half the time sedated by my own tribe because I could not fucking deal.
That sounds like some off the wall cult shit. Because you want to know why? I
already
need to
told you.
deal, and I can't deal. And for a person like me that can't deal, this is a fucking problem.
Well, you have to learn how to, and part of learning is going through the valley and making your way back out on the other side. And if you haven't noticed, Desmond and I, at least, are willing to walk with you. Desmond's not trying to put evil on you. That's why he's not blaming you. And he can't justify blaming you for the actions of someone else. He can't.
This. No,
That was that kinfolk with the shotgun. It was nobody else.
And guess what? I ended his fucking life. I put my hand through its chest. It fucking died at my feet.
And you prevented him from doing it to anybody else. Do you think that he wouldn't have hesitated to do that to some poor schmuck on the street that angered him or was part of a target? Have you gotten close to any of the kinfolk here?
I don't want to, because if they're gonna...
Look,
I don't want to get close to anybody, because if I know
that they're going to die. It happens. It's what happens when we fight a war. And a war that we are fated to not do well in. Now you have choices. Fatima, you can just lay down and die. I've seen it happen. But while you still have the ability to do things, you can at least work on trying to power through it.
And assuming she will... Oh my god, I'm good. She will fucking look at the M4 that's on the ground, and she'll say, fucking shoot me. I can't fucking do this. Fucking end it. Make up some bullshit story. You guys have done it before. Fucking do it. Fucking do it. Don't be a pussy. Fucking do it.
Cammy looks at Fatima, takes a breath. She stands up and walks over to where the M4 is sat. She'll eject the mag to make sure they're still around in it. She'll walk up behind Fatima.
Fucking do it. And she's screaming at this point. So I guess at this whole point she was definitely screaming. So I guess if Desmond's like listening, he's hearing this. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
like,
god. Oh,
yeah, it's loud.
basically, and stuff like basically Desmond like look at Colin and be like, "You
Yeah.
stole made of mine, but I forgive you. I said some stuff."
And like Colin has this fucking moment where he's trying to process that, but there's also like whatever the fuck's going on over there, and there's like how do I put this? Some shit takes precedence. So he puts a
Basically,
he puts a pin in that one and heads towards like whatever the fuck kind of
What you
Nicolas
say?
Cage shit is. Like Colin doesn't respond to what Desmond says. He looks like he's going to, but the whatever's
Yeah,
he's doing is popping off, and Colin heads in that direction. And his only reaction to this entire scenario.
Don't take this from me, Bob. Don't take this from me. Give me just enough time to be able to do this.
Swear to God.
She stands behind there. You know that feeling you have when there's a presence lingering behind you and you kind of can envision what they're doing behind you, so you can almost feel what they're doing.
Yep.
So Fatima can probably at least imagine the barrel pointed at the back of her head. And then there's a click.
Roll damage.
You don't hear me. There's a click.
And she will.
Was going to do something a bit more dramatic, but I decided discretion is the better part of valor here.
Yeah, you could actually kill me if you did what I thought you were going to do.
She's going to shoot the ground, but shoot the gun off right next to your ear. But, you know, tinnitus actually sucks.
Yes.
Womp.
Yes. Womp womp. But she will she will try and find your direction and can't even fucking end this for me. I want nothing to do with this.
You sure that's how you're going to feel about it tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Fuck.
You sure that's how you're going to feel about it the next day?
I don't.
Are you sure that down the line, Fatima, that given the abilities you have and the strength that comes with being what you are, do you think that you are going to be useless at being able to help people with that power? Or do you think there's something that you can do with it?
Are you fucking serious? Me help someone? I can barely fucking help myself.
You healed several of us.
He looks like the fucking Terminator.
And that's...
Fuck off, you piece of shit! God damn it. What do you want me to say? Sorry? I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
The fuck? Do you not see what the fuck you look like?
I look like the most beautiful get in the world.
Fuck is wrong with you, you crazy sack of shit?
To be fair, the Get are kind of crazy, but that's kind of part of their charm.
Shit.
Oh, I sent my mom a picture this morning. She cried a little bit, but she said, hey, that's okay.
Everybody's fucking brainwashed. Why? What the?
What's wrong, Ted? Tell me what's wrong. What got you so in the... Okay.
This is seriously fucked, and I want nothing to do with this.
Colin?
Oh.
I will hit you in your dick. Fuck with me. Like, get away from me.
Colin's chewing on his other paw now.
Hold up. And he'll be like, wait a minute. Come on. You'll do what? What you will do?
You and me will have a chat later.
What?
She's having an existential crisis.
I can see that over a good dinner. What's he?
It's dinner. The fuck? No.
Desmond, we've been over this. You still haven't managed to compensate for structural problems.
Yeah, we do need to talk to somebody who knows something about prosthesis. At the very least, that way you can eat a meal without making a... Raya?
I want that.
Shreds, you are my brother in arms. But I swear, if I have you over for Thanksgiving and half the mashed potatoes end up back on the table.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit. That is what I don't get. Do you not see this? This is not a. It's not a human way of thinking about this. Half of this.
We're not human,
You can go
Fatima.
fuck yourself. I want to be so human goddamn badly, and I will try my damnedest to be it.
Look, hey, guess what? You know, human, but I mean, I don't know. Can we eat? I'm super hungry.
Then go fucking eat.
I want to eat with some people. Come on now. We just got back from fighting a glorious battle. You
It's not
summoned the
fucking
spirit of the sun to be able to...
Stop.
And Colin finishes.
I can't.
Shreds. It's kind of my thing here.
Colin
Besides, if
finishes.
you want to go eat with people, you do have Colin. He's like 25% a person.
Colin like is still chewing his paw and finally like kind of pet. But like wolves can't really like spit, but he's trying. Pet. Got
You
it.
found it, didn't you?
Yep. The pebble. It's really annoying me.
Colin, give me a
Mhm.
hand here.
Colin
You
looks
have-
at his literal paws
I will be
and
right back. You can just assume that Fatima is swearing and cursing and kicking.
Oh, there she goes.
let's wait till Anthony gets back. But in the meantime,
What kind of pebble was it?
I don't know. I'm not very well versed in geology.
Piece of asphalt? Was it like a
No.
piece of salt? From the
No.
salt trucks?
No,
Because that shit would probably
Was-
burn in your pad.
it was natural. It was something more earthy than that. I think it was just like a literal small rock.
Sharp, jagged,
I'm hungry.
Smooth.
Smooth.
I was lucky.
Ah,
Made it hard to pick out though.
I saw you digging at it.
Jesus. Great guy. I'm hungry.
Desmond,
What's she so angry about?
one day you and I will hold palaver.
Desmond, did you ever have that moment, like, after your first change where you freaked the fuck out because one minute you were human, the next minute you're fighting a religious war with a borderline cult? I mean, to be fair, we are like
Yeah.
literally like a cult, like cultist version of the Planeteers.
Like, did, but at the same time, I realized that when I found out my foster mom was a kinfolk, it me. So I
She doesn't
decided
have
to
that.
live with it.
She doesn't have that. She's estranged from her parents right now. Her parents probably think that she's dead.
We about to have one. Oh, and you doing all the talking?
I see.
Oh yeah. Also, Helena was going to deliver you this message. We're going to be working doing guerrilla warfare.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're going to be petitioning Cockroach.
I could see how that would be a choice, yes.
And given Kailani's instincts, your prowess, Desmond's fervor, and my connections, I think that our two packs would actually do pretty well in this city.
You're proposing a matter that already exists. We all of us are members of this sept, bound in common purpose. We have no reason to stand apart.
yeah,
Oh,
but at the same,
you were
But
talking really weird.
I know.
Something happen, or you just on a new level of Zen right now?
Cammy, I sit on an amount of primal anger that could explode at any moment. Some days, I have no real problems behaving naturally. Other days, it's better this way.
that's his cute face.
If Anthony were here, I could literally point between the two of them. See? See? But Anthony stepped away. Right now,
But
Chuckleflex are trying to fill dead air.
like, before we got interrupted by Fatima screaming, so that's how I felt, Colin. To tell you,
Colin just kind of like sits and looks up at Desmond. I know that you're going to have a very, very hard time grasping this. Not from a lack of quality, but from a different perspective. But not all things, and especially not the matter of a pack, are matters of competition.
Desmond's going to kind of frown up a little bit and just be like, I'm learning that. I'm learning that.
Time and place for everything, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Like
Together.
sometimes.
Just letting you know.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Excuse you!
Oh.
It's the second time she's done that tonight. Cammy will crouch down, put the butt of the rifle against the ground, and kind of lean against it, arms kind of wrapped around the barrel. And she'll
Also,
pull the slide down to actually chamber around.
also stuff too, Colin. Some wild stuff too. So yeah. My rage was up.
Desmond, I've already
I
heard
said
about
this.
what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Do I look amused?
Every day I'm amused at certain stuff that happens.
I'm kind of lost here. What?
Okay. This is happening now. And Colin comes back to Hamid as soon as Bob can actually like work technology. There we go. Stop antagonizing the Cubs.
And basically, that's when Dez was going to be like, his face going to just twist up.
I'm glad we understand each other.
No, how have I been antagonizing the Cubs?
Colin just kind of puts his hand down the side of his face through his beard. Beard. When I hear through that many links in a chain that you've been running around pressing cubs. When I'm not even a den parent, people are coming to me with this shit. You're obviously doing something. I don't know what it is. In fact, I think the only people that do know are you and whoever was there. So I'm telling you that whatever it is, and I do mean whatever it is, stop.
And then he's going to get in Colin's face and be like,
I don't know what sick diss you were going to use, but it cut out.
I mean, basically, Dance was going to get in his face.
There's another moment.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, dude.
He'll give you that look. His eyes would like dart towards the training ground and just look back at him.
And Colin's jaw sets, and then we roll initiative.
At least make the attempt to jump in there and be like, okay.
The Colin will punch straight through you. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, he just looking at him. He just like,
how many of these is Cammy gonna have to eat up before she gets tired of
they
this?
haven't hit each other yet. They
I
just
know.
looking. They just.
I know. I have to roll initiative to be able to get into the middle of this.
Still rolling initiative?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm at 10.
Okay. Just to let you know, he's in Glabro form.
I got 9, so plus 4, I have 13.
Okay. 1d10. Whatever comes up, comes up.
Oh, looks like you're at the head of this, Diamond.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Basically, he is not without basically honor. Basically, he'll reflexively like basically and basically he'll just go for a punch.
Okay, so you did cut out some. You reflexively shifted down, is what I'm understanding here. Or I don't know what form you're in.
He was in Glabro. He shifted down to
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. The rest I
down.
caught, so go for it.
Going to try to hit. Dice roll one. Let's go.
Looks like you got one.
Cammy attempt to
Now,
throw herself in between this and Colin.
I mean, I don't know, because you are, yeah, like you're like second on initiative. I'm actually at the very bottom.
you can. Oh,
She's gonna try. It's not gonna go well.
okay, so basically roll the intercept to hit. Basically,
She's gonna try and do. Damn.
So I guess at this point, Diamond would roll his damage.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, so basically, it'll just be.
Well, Tammy went for like a whatever. We'll just roll it. Come on, bring it. Got a healthy soak pool. It's more than one.
You can get soap too. That's the extent.
What? So yeah, I guess Cammy comes up and she throws herself in between the two. She takes the punch to the gut, and
We'll just stop.
Yeah,
Just wait.
Colin does too, actually.
there's just the sound for Cammy, just like, oh, okay, okay, that hurt a little. Can we
What are
not,
you doing?
Raya?
Fight it out.
Raya, as your beta, I must advise against the idea of fisticuffs and dissension in front of the existentially distraught cub.
Gonna be no dissension. I was gonna get him a drink, either we win or lose.
I just don't think it would be a good idea to do it in front of the children.
Colin's just sitting there vibrating.
What did he say?
Collins is sitting at like rage 6 now, isn't he?
Behind the tree. Now.
Thank you.
So, Diamond, let's pick up where we left off. I don't want to reroll initiative.
Yeah, basically he's just gonna be like, basically when he moved out the way.
Yeah,
Like she was like, just not here. Please, just not here.
And basically they go somewhere and they gonna just have it out.
they're gonna bang it out one way or the other. So,
So to give you a rundown of
You want to
what's been going on.
No.
So basically, Colin is not dead inside. He just tries to keep it in check because he sits on top of a tinderbox, ready to go off at any point. He and Desmond exchanged words. They were somewhat unpleasant to each other, and they were getting ready to go into fisticuffs. Cammy threw herself in between them and was just like, "Not in front of the children, please."
Did they really just sit here and make this about them motherfuckers?
That's and they've gone off. They've gone off onto the other side of the tree.
Yeah.
To do this.
I basically like rolled that 10. My bad. So just keep initiative.
Yeah, let's just keep initiative. While they're doing their thing, we'll just work this out in text.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks. So yeah, while the two of them are behind trees and you just hear the sounds of like, and your mother looks like a hamster. And the sounds of, impacting bodies. Luckily they're doing it in Hamid form, so there's no growls or roars that are of any merit. He looks back at Fatima, and she'll reach into her spider satchel and she'll look, and takes her a minute, and she finally finds a Mr. Pibb extra somewhere down in there. It's got a dent in it, but it's not too badly mangled. She'll pop it and hand it over to Fatima.
What is this?
I don't know. They always made me feel better. But I kind of cope with food. Well, it's one of the ways I cope. I have a sweet tooth.
I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't even know what type of tooth I have. I want things to make sense.
Well, probably helps that you're a theurge, because that's part of what our job is. But we're just never going to have all the answers, Fatima. And you, especially right now, we're not going to have a lot in the way of answers. For one, you don't have a direct theurge tutor that's very experienced.
I mean, 10 point helps, but
Well, she's definitely got her attention on another. I'm trying to help where I can, but like I said before, last time we talked, I'm only like 5 minutes ahead of you in a not so literal sense, but you get my drift. But the big thing is that everything that this nation is about is full of contradictions, just like life. And it's going to be frustrating at times, maddening when it's not frustrating. And you sort of draw out victories where you can get them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of so matter of fact about Desmond. I nearly lost my shit when I saw part of his head explode. But when he came back, just as quickly. I mean, all I could think about was I was just grateful that he was alive and I wasn't packless again. And while sure that everything that you saw is disturbing, your teammate didn't die. Nobody was lost on that mission. He bears the scars of it, sure, and they're horrific. But he isn't adversely affected by them other than being out and not being out in public directly until we can get something worked out for him.
Excuse me, real quick. My bad. My dice roller is kind of messing up a little bit. But I have a narration option, which have basically Colin Landon. Basically,
I mean, like I can
if
actually
Bob wants to
see,
do that.
I can actually see your dice coming up now. They're just lagging a little bit.
Yeah, they're just a little bit of a lag.
Nice if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't have any narrative powers, so we'll just try to stay by the dice. Okay, good. Go on.
Which is about to say, roll my dice right quick. My bad.
No, your dice just showed up. You rolled 3d10.
Rolling 2 rage, by the way, just to let you know.
Okay. Well, okay, you two continue. We're gonna keep banging this out.
She'll look at Fatima. The one thing that you learn, above all other things, is that you just take victories where you get them. And I know that sounds like, using a piece of gum to, fix a hole in the Hoover Dam. But it's just kind of the harsh reality that we're faced with. And you can't go back to how things used to be. It just doesn't work. When you do that, if you try and go away from the nation, you become Ronin. And that is not a life you want to live. You have people here that are willing to support you and help you through this. Me most of all. Win, lose, or draw, whether or not you join my pack, I want to see you succeed. You're another Theurge. You're worth your weight in gold to the nation. Your job is probably more important than the R-runes. R-runes expect to die. They're meant to live and die. We're meant for something else. Every time a Theurge dies, it's a big deal. Because then the Sept becomes that much weaker on its spiritual front. When I first got here, 10 Point was the only Theurge on Sept.
And now we have an abundance.
I mean, I could say something about Gaia. When she closes a door, she opens up a, I don't know, a crawl space. But she'll reach out and she'll just hover her hand over Fatima's shoulder because she's not going to touch her again. Listen. It's okay to have freakouts. You're less than a month into this. And at times you're going to crumble. Could be years down the line and you're going to fall apart. It is what it is. The important thing is that when you're down in a foxhole by yourself, don't be afraid to grab someone's hand when they offer it down to you. Try to hear their words. Even if they don't make a lot of sense, try and find the meaning in them. Maybe you can find some solace in the sentiment behind what they're saying to you.
All right.
Still holding out that soda.
She'll grab the soda.
Cammy will sit down next to her. Eventually this stuff starts to make more sense. And eventually you learn how to deal. Moments like this are the building blocks. Most of our temples are built on rubble. So you're taking your steps in the right direction. And you'll get through it. I have confidence in you. And look on the plus side. I gave you orders last night. And you went and started doing them.
In a life or death situation, it's not the smartest thing to go rogue.
There are a lot of Garu that don't even know that much. So, what have you been learning thus far? Ask me something that you need help with. Maybe I've got an answer for you.
Um, can you give me a lowdown of the tribes?
All right. Bonars. Hobos, vagabonds, and the struggling 99 percenters. Children of Rat, they they're just about as good in the city as we are. Probably in terms of everything that isn't electronic, even better than we are. Fierce friends too. If you can manage to get a Bonar to like you, Ken or Garu, they will always have your back. Word of warning though, don't ever give them any kind of money and expect to see it used wisely. But you'll see them use it fairly. A lot of the times they like to take any wealth that's given to them and redistribute it in the way of food or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Children of Gaia. They're the
You can skip those.
peacekeepers.
I know.
All right. Glasswalkers. Certain sense of pride that you see on her face. Children of Cockroach. Adaptable. Sometimes a bit too pragmatic for their own good. Arrogant. But not without merit. They rule over cities in this digital age. Our gifts allow us to do a lot of things that other tribes can only dream about. And that kind of goes hand in hand with our purpose of being the door for the nation into the world of man. If you want to stay close to humanity, if you don't join the Glasswalkers, a Glasswalker as an ally is always a good thing to have. Get a Fenris?
I don't think humanity is a choice I have right now. You can skip that one.
The Get?
Yeah, skip that.
Right.
Desmond told me skip it.
Alright. After the Get, we have what? I skipped over the Black Furious, didn't I?
Yep.
Children of Pegasus. Strictly female tribe. They do keep their male medicine kinfolk, though.
Why?
I don't honestly know. It's
Okay.
a question I've always had, but I tend not to ask. Every now and then, let me put it this way. There are certain trigger questions or trigger words that you can use around certain tribes, and you might get a really negative response. Like, I wouldn't talk about Columbus Day in front of any of the pure tribes for obvious reasons.
So what about Black Furies? Like, why are they all female?
It's what their totem Pegasus wants.
Are they good?
I mean, they're not bad. They're as good as any other tribe.
Are they competent?
Are they what?
Competent. Do they have any rivals?
The Get. They're actually not too dissimilar from the Get.
In what way?
Very headstrong, very prideful, extremely good fighters. They come from a proud and rich warrior tradition.
Are they good theaters? Do you know?
If being in the wild places is your thing, yes. Their whole job is to keep the wild places pure and protect women and children.
Okay.
But they're not without their faults.
Faults?
I mean, every tribe has its faults. The Bonars, the Garu sometimes leech too much off of their kinfolk. Nobody in the tribe lets the other one get ahead. They're kind of like crabs in a bucket in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Get are full of pride and driven to glory and bloodlust because they believe that is the closest way to their totem. Children of Gaia are sometimes too sometimes they're a bit too soft in the way they do things. Sometimes they would rather find a different means to an end. And sometimes the situations that they're dealing with don't have the luxury of that. And they can slow things down. But they are also responsible for stopping the Impergium and the 2 war of rages that we had. I don't know if the Den parents have talked about either of those.
Mm-mm.
Well, you know the Delirium.
Mm-hmm.
You've been intimately acquainted with it now.
Yes.
The reason that they react that way is because of the Impergium. It is when the Garu hunted man. Kind of the same way man hunts deer now. To control their population.
Okay.
The time that we fell away from our purpose. But the scars of that are still very real, and they're now ingrained an instinctual fear of us. That's why the delirium happens. That's why they're always going to be uneasy around us, if they're not extremely willful. The War of Rage, long story short, there are other shifters besides wolves.
I heard that.
We kill a lot of them.
I was also told that. Before I was told about the wild, the weaver, and the worm. You can say everything was a little backwards, but moving on.
The Fianna.
I heard from 10 Point and
Aiden.
10 Point and Aiden.
My evaluation of them is that they are very caught up in their own tradition, a lot like the Furies and the Get,
Mm-hmm.
but they also create some of the deepest and most lasting bonds of anyone in the nation. If the Get are the claws, the Silver Fangs are the head, the Glasswalkers are the eyes, so on and so forth, the
Mm-hmm.
Fianna would be the soul of the nation. They keep camaraderie alive. They're good at reminding us that we fight for something. They feel things deeper, and sometimes that leads them into trouble. A good way to get a Fianna off their game is to put their family in danger, or their friends in danger, or a packmate in danger. A well-oiled war machine could easily fall apart if the Fianna is tilted in such a way. After that, you've got The Red Talons. Not much to go on there. Children of Griffin. All lupus. They don't like anything about humanity. They think the Imperium was a good idea and we were fools for stopping it. I wouldn't. The best thing I can say about them is give them a wide berth and give them respect. And if you join any of the tribes that are close to humans or in the city, always go into the mindset that they don't like you, just on principle. And that don't like you is enough justification for them to maul you. They may not kill you. They may. But they are an extreme tribe. So mind your distance around them. Lupus are already hard to interact with. They're much harder. And their tribal totem, best to leave that to the lupuses to deal with. If you can't find a lupus, try and find a metis. Homins dealing with Griffin are always a last resort. The Shadow Lords, they follow Grandfather Thunder. Stormcrow. Cunning individuals who, if you have one on your side, anybody who gives you a real hard time may just up and disappear one day. They are the little fingers of the Guard Nation. You should look over at Fatima to see if that reference gets any
She shakes her
traction.
head.
How can I put this? They make deals and they scheme in secret, and in a lot of ways what they do may seem dastardly, but I am almost 100% sure that many of their machinations, whether they're Machiavellian in scope and in purpose, have led to our nation having success. But they are arrogant, almost as arrogant as the Silver Fangs. And most people, as a rule of thumb, distrust them. And they're not necessarily wrong to do so, but don't always prejudge them until you get to know them. Each one is different. The biggest thing about them is that they do the things that a lot of other tribes won't do. But they still have to be done. Silver Fangs, children of Falcon and leaders of the nation. Our king is a Silver Fang. They rule over us all. A Silver Fang is always looked to as an authority figure. In most packs, they're either the alpha or the beta.
If that's the case, then why isn't Jacob in charge instead of Chloe?
Jacob is her beta.
Oh, okay.
From what I've seen of Jacob, he's much more take charge than Chloe is. Think of him as the power behind the throne in that pack. But he's also a Philodox. And Chloe's probably the better warrior between the two. And that matters for something in a society that's based around prowess. I think of myself as in a pretty good position as a beta of a pack, because betas are meant to be more even-tempered. And she'll just kind of gesture over to the sound of fighting over in the trees. problem with Silverfangs, though, is that they tend to be paranoid. Our last king was not a good man. He was called the Mad King, in a sense. So, if they're insecure, and many of them are, it's very easy for them to take a suggestion as a threat. What else? The Stargazers, I don't know too much about them. They're an enigmatic lot. They range mostly in Asia, for as far as their lineage is concerned. Asia, India, the Pacific Archipelago, as far as I know. They follow Chimera. They contemplate and look for meaning behind all things. That's a stereotype, at least. Some people see them as warrior monks. Other people see them as walking, talking contradictions. Best way I've heard it ever described is that they are trying to solve the mystery of how to control their rage and to not have their rage control them.
It's at this moment that there is a crashing sound, and Desmond, like, they had been doing this semi out of sight. Like, trees are not perfect for this. But there's just a big boom, and down he tumbles into sight with Colin kind of half shuffle scrambling after him. And Colin's fists cocked back again. And he seems to realize something that is pretty plain to the two outside observers, which is that Desmond is out cold. Not that you can tell it with half his face. Puts his fist down, just kind of shakes it. It's actually, Cammy can see he's got some bruises creeping around the face there, kind of peeking over the beard.
Cammy just takes two of the guy's breaths out of her bag and tosses them towards Colin.
Not necessary.
Oh.
But appreciated.
Well, settled?
We're starting a dialogue. It's good.
Bravo. Should give him a thumbs up.
In a few minutes, there's one kind of like, oh, yeah. See one of the teeth on his like left side basically is like loose out of the face that's basically burnt off, and it's just gonna fall off willingly. He's just gonna push it off with his tongue. That was fun.
Look, I understand wanting people to run with you. I really do. Just ease up some. Let Cammy take the lead on it for a while, yeah?
Yeah. Honorable Get Warrior. I will allow this.
Cammy looks at Fatima and smiles as she rolls her eyes. Her back is turned to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin, for his part, like he helps Desmond up if Desmond allows it. If his get pride can allow a child of Gaia to slightly help him to his feet, sort of.
He'll accept it, and then he'll probably dust himself out off the side of his exposed face.
Oh shit, Raya, he really fucked your face. Oh.
And Colin looks just perfectly comfortable with this situation. and just kind of walks over, sits back down, and goes back to being a wolf.
So, lesson in this, be very easy to look over at that and fret about it. But as far as those two are concerned, their argument with each other is handled. So, where was I?
You just got finished with the
Stargazers.
right.
If you want to learn more about them, I highly suggest talking to Kailani. For Lupus, she's very, very well acclimated to Hamid life and culture and probably can understand you a lot better than, say, Pounce or the Den Father as far as what you're trying to ask her. As far as, let's see. Next up is the Uktena, one of the two pure tribes. They follow Uktena, big horned river serpent. They are pretty much a tribe of theurges. Every auspice has something to do with spirits or the Umbra. Their theurges are without equal in the nation. They search out hidden lore and they search out the secrets that is kept by the wild worm, weaver, and everything else. And they are not afraid to go to the deepest, darkest places to find it. They relish that. As mired as we are in the weaver, the Uktena are mired in the Umbra. All the levels of the Umbra, the near, deep, high, low, dark, all the planes that exist in the Umbra. They're only mapped out because of the Uktena. They are a pure tribe, though, so they do have a lot of beef with a lot of the European tribes. Get and Fiona chief among them. They don't like us because we were also part of it, and she'll kind of point at herself.
Uh-huh.
But you can read just about any historical site or any history book or watch any movie about the expansion era to the west or the colonization of this country, and you can see why they wouldn't like us all that much. But the Uktena are a little bit more pragmatic about it. They aren't quite as hot and heavy as the Wendigo. They're maybe not forgiving, but they're understanding, and they realize that each of us has something to bring to the table. And after that is the Wendigo. And the Wendigo are... They're almost like the pure tribe version of the Get. In many senses. They are extremely potent warriors. And it takes a lot to put them down. They can survive in some of the harshest climates that Gaia has to throw out there. They're called the cold wind of the north, and it's an apt title for them. Their totem is Great Wendigo, and Great Wendigo is a spirit of vengeance. He is unforgiving. And if a Wendigo has cause to dislike you and you are part of any of the tribes that were involved in the colonization of this country, that took lands away from the pure tribes, they can be dangerous to your health. Not all of them are like that, but a fair number of them are, and it's enough to warrant pause when dealing with them. I've always had the policy of let them come to you before you go to them. Always try and be respectful as far as what you say or how you word things. And don't ever try and downplay what their people have been through. If one of them is trying to tell you about what the European Garu did, respect that. Because to them, it is still a very real issue, even to the Atena. And you can see it by, well, just look at the news with the pipelines going into native territory. Even after the government promised that land to them and has already pretty much taken everything away from those people, it is very easy to see why everything that they talk about is still as fresh a wound as it was 100 years ago. And that's really it. I'd tell you about the Farah, but I don't know enough about them. I know that they come in several different shapes and sizes. Cats, crows, bears. I don't know if the bears are around anymore, but there are some really interesting and complex things out there that serve Gaia. Oh, and there are 3 tribes that don't exist anymore.
I was told about them.
All 3?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I guess the only one that really matters these days to a brand new cub like you that you're going to have any dealings with are the White Howlers and what they became.
I heard.
There's a certain amount of pity I have for each one of them I see.
I don't necessarily pity it. It makes a degree of sense.
They became what they became because they were headstrong. But nobody answered the call when they asked for it. There's a certain level of responsibility that the nation has to fess up to. But that doesn't make them any less our enemy by any stretch of the imagination. And once a Garu becomes a spiral, they are beyond help. If for some reason they are able to get a moment of clarity enough to pull away from the worm's influence, don't think of them as something that can be redeemed. Much kinder to put a silver bullet in their head. Put them out of their suffering.
The Colin Wolf faces back.
She'll look over at Colin. If you want to add to that, by all means.
The majority of black spiral dancers that you're going to encounter are not repentant. They are our enemies. They've chosen their side. That's how it is. I don't know the ways, but they've surrendered before. The ones that seek redemption should be helped on that path.
Cammy looks down at her hands and then shrugs. I don't necessarily agree, but there is a certain argument that has to be made that every potential warrior that we have to fight on our side is an asset and an opportunity we can't pass up.
Maybe judge each on their case by case merit. I think it's something for a season full of us.
It needs to be handled carefully. There are...
Risks.
Yes. Also, I'll be right back.
BRB.
So Cammy finally looks over at Desmond.
This was just sitting right there. Just watching intuitively at the conversation.
Right, I'm gonna get in touch with my people tomorrow. I'm gonna look for someone to help us out with some facial prosthesis. That way, at
Is it
least
going to be used for?
eating and blending in as much as you can.
I will probably only wear that in public, but when I am around here, I will not wear it.
No one's gonna try and make you, I don't think. I won't. I know you wear that as a badge of honor.
I thank you. I considering it. I mean, well, I'm thanking you for. I really do. If you can have a burnt certificate or something like that, can be able to wrap up my face.
Yeah, I'll figure out something. I'm sure if I can't make it, I can order something that we can, you know, maybe cover up one side of your face.
I am getting quite used to. Well, you know what? I'm already used to it. Comes with me.
How are you doing with chewing? Desmond?
What did she say, basically?
How was he doing with chewing? I didn't hear you if you said anything.
He will basically used to it. I mean, it's nothing to chewing and on the food and doing the proper thing.
All right, I'm coming to the door now. What?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I'm pretty good. I still look good. Of course.
Well, I know there are some kinfolk out there that would definitely see that and be very much intrigued.
Yeah, I just hope my next battle scar be around either my midsection or something, or somewhere on my leg or something. I mean, do so much in the face.
Well, we'll try and avoid you face checking a shotgun again.
Oh, my brains flew everywhere.
Gave me a heart attack, just about.
Pretty,
We haven't even gotten a totem yet.
yeah, it's hard to kill me.
Well, here's hoping that that remains to be true throughout.
Well, let's pray to the guy that does.
And she'll look back over at Fatima. Anthony? Candy might have stepped away for dinner. So we're going to let Fatima contemplate what's been said to her. And she looks over at Colin. You know, I think I'm going to stick here. Just help her feel things out. I've been where she's been. Would appreciate it, though, if somebody were to take, like, a Popeyes container to the Evermeal.
Eh.
I'll save something for you.
Word, I haven't been by the trailer in a while. How's the window?
Fixed.
Make any jambalaya recently?
No. No, price has changed.
Fair enough. Alpha, why don't you head off with them and rustle up some grub? Uh, I didn't get all that you cut out.
Desmond will look and be like, I think I'm gonna let y'all have y'all little moments and whatever. Played all that. Actually, I'm gonna do the opposite. Probably,
Sorry, I'm back.
Ah. Colin and Desmond, we're going to go get food. If you want, we can stay here, or we go with them. What do you think?
I'm hungry. Let's go.
and that's what I'm talking about. Some food, finally. Talking time to get something to eat.
I could really go for pancakes, bacon, eggs, hash browns. And I want them from the greasiest of spoons.
I've got chicken and I've got waffles.
It'll do.
Chickens and waffles. That sounds good.
And she'll stand up and offer a hand down to Fatima.
Take her hand.
And she does it in a way so that most of her hand is inside her sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
But as she's explained, it's not a her thing. It's not a you thing. It's a me thing. And if there's nothing else, I think we will call that a scene. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you for the two watchers for watching. I'm not exactly sure who that was because my normal watcher is right here. So we will see you all again on the next episode of Rage Across New York.